Well, good morning, everybody. Hogtie TV here, heading east on 64 from Merrill to Medford, Wisconsin, and then we'll be dropping south to get down to Treases. Today I'm going to talk about the Hayek family Booya and what that is, what it means to me, and I guess why I talk about it. So first off, what is it? Well, it is a pot of stew. I would call it a stew. Others would call it a soup. There is a bunch of meat that goes into this thing, and what that thing is about a 15-gallon stainless steel stock pot. So this takes about 3 days to prepare. Well, 2 days of prep work and then a day to cook it. So day one, what we'll usually do is start to cut up the vegetables. We put in rutabagas, we put in peppers, we put in onions, carrots, parsnips, corn, some cabbage at the end, some beans, some peas. I think peas, beans for sure. I lose count, you know. Potatoes, off the top of my head, that's covers most of it, at least on the veggie side. We put a little bit of chili in, we put a little tomato juice in. So day one is to kind of prep the cutting of the vegetables and get the meat thawed out and get everything pulled out of storage, clean up the stock pot, and do all the kind of prep work for the coming weekend. And we usually have it on a Sunday, a good fall day, and I'll get into some more here in a minute. So that's day one. Day two, what we'll do is prep the meat and start the broth. So we boil the chickens. We'll put in our, I don't know, is it 2 or 3 chickens? We got some oxtails. We got some roast. We got some soup bone. So basically the meat is beef and chicken. And we'll get that boiled up and start that process and get the get that broth started. So once the chickens are all done cooking, what we'll do is we'll take them out, debone everything, and keep the meat, chuck the bones, at least from the chicken. The soup bones and oxtails still stay in there. Oxtails kind of help us decide when the Booya is done. Once the oxtails start to be stirred clean and there's no meat on the bone, that kind of tells us she's done. So that goes into the stock pot. We keep it in the garage refrigerator overnight, and next morning what we'll do is start the fire, and we got a metal grate that we put the stock pot on, and I'll try to get some pictures tossed out here during this vlog of what that is, what it looks like. And we'll put the stock pot up on the grate once we get the fire kind of down the coals and we can get her going. And we got a big stir paddle that looks like an oar. We'll show you that. And what we do is we get the broth kind of perking a little bit, boiling, and then we start to add all of the ingredients, not at once. Obviously we'll start with like rutabagas, parsnips, carrots, things that take a little bit longer to cook. And so as we are adding these things, we're kind of adding the water that the vegetables have been sitting in to kind of build up the liquid in the stew, and we kind of what we'll do is kind of add some spices and herbs and kind of work on the taste as we work our way through the day. So typically this takes about, we'll start, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then by noon, 1 o'clock, we eat. And we got a big stainless scoop. We'll take that out, and we'll scoop out the stew and put it into a smaller stock pot, and then we'll bring that inside where folks can help themselves. Okay, so that's the actual Booya itself. Now, the Booya event is almost a family type gathering, and I guess I've always been social and enjoy sitting around a fire with a beer and bullshitting a little bit, and it's fun to see family. You get certain family members that try to make an appearance every year, friends of the family, and then you might get other distant relatives to show up there, once in a while, and it's never the same audience every year. It's a little bit different each year, and who knows, you might see somebody you haven't seen in a very long time. So the Booya, from almost a family reunion type situation, is pretty fun as well. I definitely like to see the brothers, nieces, and nephews. My sister lives in Jacksonville, Florida. It's been hard for her to obviously come up in the middle of school year and visit during the Booya. So she really hasn't made an appearance, just out of the circumstances of distance and I guess time and all of that. And I don't blame her. I need to see her kids more often too than what I have. But anyways, the Booya is always a fun event. I help Dad, try to help him, and try to learn each year what works, what doesn't work. I don't know, it kind of ends up different each year. We always say it's really good the year we make it, so who knows. So it's been a good time, and I guess we've basically said this has been going on since 1961, when Grandpa Bud started doing this on my dad's side, and it hasn't been done every year since 61. Since my dad's brother Roger had left Wisconsin Rapids. He basically, I think, got all the materials, the stock pot, the paddle, the scoop, and he basically started doing this in the early 2000s. In fact, it might have been the year 2000, I'm not sure, 2001, somewhere around there. Dad started doing this back at our place, at his place at that time, and since then we have been doing it every year. I know Roger would do it over in Wisconsin Rapids, make the Booya off and on, you know, from the 80s and 90s, and probably even the 70s. We didn't make any of those, but we did have one back in the late 70s at Dad's place. I barely remember that. I was just a little tyke at that point, but yeah, so that is the Booya, and that explains a majority of why I am traveling down this way for the week. And I don't know if you like the story, hit the like button or subscribe to my page. Nice Herefords. Yeah, so if you like the story, like my page, subscribe. If not, I'll just give you the Robert Rob. I guess go watch someone else. Hate to borrow that one from you, Rob, but kind of says it all. So thanks for stopping by, regardless, and have a good day. Bye-bye.